That is exactly how you start this tough road trip down in Florida with a big win over the AL leading Tampa Bay Rays. As we welcome you here to Phillies Postgame Live, brought to you by Curado Insurance. Ricky Bottalico, Amy Fadool, and Ricky, you said in the pregame show, if Aaron Nola pitches well, Phillies will start this road trip off with a win.
And he did. He looked great in every facet. I mean, to start with, first pitch strikes, 22 of 29. So he was getting ahead of hitters. That's a first step. And that curveball, I have not seen him throw a curveball like this since early on in his career. And the reason why I say that is because he was throwing it to both sides of the plate. He was throwing a backdoor curveball to one side of the plate and a back foot curveball to the other side of the plate. I mean, when he has both sides of that going, I mean, it's almost impossible to hit. I thought he was a little sneaky early on because I felt like his first three or four strikeouts were all curveballs, and then all of a sudden he'd get into the same counts, and boom, he slips a little sinker past you, and you have no idea it's coming. He was painting the corners today. He was moving his curveball around. I thought this was the best Aaron Nola we saw all season.
Absolutely, because he had an up-and-down season. His ERA north of 4, and you're looking at what you're going to get from him today, and this is about as good as you could have ever expected. Matched a career high in strikeouts. You see there on your screen, 10 straight road wins. That's the longest single streak in Major League Baseball, and it's the longest streak in the same season for the Phillies since 1976. This is not an easy place to play, and I don't mean the Trop. I mean, whatever. Yeah, it's a tough place to play. You've played there, and also against one of the best teams in all of baseball.
It's a boring place to play in.
Yeah,
is what it really
is. Phillies fans.
But I was just going to say, it seemed like there were a lot more Phillies fans there, and the one problem that Aaron Nola has had did not haunt him today. In an odd twist and turn of events, because in that, I believe it was the third inning, there was an error on Trey Turner with a runner already on base. What did Aaron do? He came back and struck out the next two guys. So he didn't give in, which I like to see. He kept fighting through a little adversity, and he did a fantastic job. And I don't blame Rob Thomson for throwing him back out there in the eighth inning. I thought he was dealing. He looked great. Makes one bad pitch. My goodness, this guy makes a bad pitch, and it ends up in the seats every time.
Yeah, that was a long ball that he gave up there for the one run as he got 12 strikeouts, matching the career high. We're going to hear from Rob Thomson coming up. But let's go back down to Tropicana Field and check in with our John Kruk. And, John, this was an absolute gem across the board when you look at the pitchers. Starting with Aaron Nola, you have obviously Jose Alvarado in there, and then you guys spoke with Craig Kimbrell, who continued his dominance carrying over from June. What did you see on the mound from the Phillies, starting with Nola?
Well, what I saw with Aaron was he got ahead. I mean, he was first strike to every hitter until I think like the fourth or fifth inning maybe. But, I mean, he was just fantastic. When he had to throw a pitch out of the strike zone to get a swing and miss, he did. I thought he and JT were just perfect together today. And, that's as good as I've seen Aaron in a long time. I mean, it was dominant.
I want you to talk a little bit about Bryson Stott and talk a little bit about his plate coverage and the way he's been swinging the bat lately.
Rick, it amazes me to this day why they play the third baseman so far over when he can hit that ball down that left field line seemingly at will. But his at-bats, especially with two strikes, I think now he leads all baseball in two-strike hits or National League or one of the two, maybe both. But he doesn't panic. And I think, with him spreading out and going to that no stride, he can wait, foul pitches off until he gets something he likes, because he's got to lead the league in foul balls. I mean, he hits a ton of them every game, every at bat. But I mean, he has turned himself into, not only a serviceable player, he's turned himself into a damn good player.
John, when you're looking at the importance of this road trip right now, not just because of the teams you're facing, obviously they have the Marlins coming up later this week, but from where it is in the schedule, the last 6 games, now 5 before the All-Star break, important to finish strong, but you can send a message, too, to the rest of the division and the league.
Yeah, absolutely. You're playing 2 of the better teams going right now, and, but look, Tampa Bay came into this series struggling. Miami has been struggling. So, if any time that's ripe for the taking, it's now. What the heck is all that noise? It sounds like I ground crews in my ear right now, or up here in the booth with us, pounding the dirt on there. But anyway, it is important to finish strong. And look, I'm so happy for Nick Castellanos making the All-Star team. But the other 25 guys now get to go home and rest, and that's huge, absolutely huge for these guys. Get 4 days off their feet. I'm sure they'll go to the ballpark and hit 1 or 2 of those days, or maybe just one of those days, probably Thursday prior to playing Friday. But, they're going to get their rest. The bullpen's going to get rest, and, let's start this so-called second half of the season, finish this strong to the break, and then go start the remainder of the season strong too, and see what you can do. Get in, you got a shot. We saw that last year.
Absolutely. And listen, the grounds crew tries to take you off your game. You are unflappable, my friend. I appreciate you. Happy 4th. Happy Independence Day there, John.
Hey, I don't know if y'all can see it down on the field, though.
No.
Zach and Aaron are exchanging jerseys. They're exchanging
that's great.
jerseys.
That's great. We'll have to make sure we can get that and show everybody at home. That's good. It was 2 buddies going against each other. It was a pretty good pitcher's duel for quite a while there. Good one to watch.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, John.
All right.
Those guys would obviously be sharing some good moments right there between Aaron Nola and Zach Eflin, 2 longtime friends who go back several seasons. Obviously, they spent 7 seasons here together in the Phillies organization. So you look at this, 10 games, they matched that. That's tying with its 1970s.
They could break it this week, Abe.
They could. That's a lot to ask. You got 3 more coming up. I mean, you know what? I'm with John. Let's just go for it. Finish strong on this one. But it's a single season to have this carry over from series to series on the road says a lot about who this team is.
Yeah, at certain times in a season, you usually have letdowns on the road. You go out on the road and, sometimes the trips are long and sometimes you just not necessarily don't feel like playing, but you can almost feel like giving losses. I don't feel like this team plays like that. I feel like this team is just as comfortable when they're on the road right now as they are at home, if not more so.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, if not more so. I love what they're doing, like pitching-wise. I mean, you look back for the last month, and the starting pitching has been,
incredible,
ridiculously good. If they could continue this, I think the Phillies can make a nice little run to the top of the wild cards. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
John pointed out, and I know you've said it before, all you need to do is get that invitation to the postseason, and then,
let's take a little different route than last year.
Yeah, maybe a little bit easier
take that
on
route
us
again.
instead of having the play-in. That's impressive. That guy was batting north of 280 coming into this one.
He was.
That one's gone straight down. Rob Thomson has to be pleased with his team's effort. Here he is.
Seemed like it wasn't just like another outing for Aaron. I know you say he doesn't get too amped up or anything, but
he was fantastic, and so was Eflin. I mean, it was a great pitcher's duel. Both guys threw the ball well. Both guys were throwing strikes and getting a lot of soft outs. Nola's stuff was really good. I was just telling Chris, it reminded me of, there was a game a couple years ago in San Diego. It was the first time he faced his brother. He had something going. They hit a home run in the 9th, and we ended up losing. That's the type of stuff he had. So it was really good.
I mean, they weren't just teammates for a long time. I mean, they were really close friends.
Oh, yeah, very close.
So were you kind of able to appreciate those 2 guys sort of going toe-to-toe as they did and both pitching really well?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think they're both competitive guys, and even though they have this close friendship, they compete. And they want to beat each other.
what do you think made Aaron's stuff so good today?
Maybe it was the extra day.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was, but the velocity was really good. Location was really good. The curveball was, really filthy. It really was. So, it was excellent.
Is his curveball kind of the one of the bellwethers for him? Like when he's got
What's
it.
a bellwether?
Like like a signal that it's going to be a really good day when he's got it and it's working like that.
Yeah, I think so. And plus the 2-seam. If he's got the 2-seam going, his velocity could be down, and he's still going to get soft contacts.
The 2-seamers kind of come back from, right? I mean, that wasn't a pitch that he was necessarily using a lot last year or early this year.
Yeah,
right?
no, it's been good. And although I just said what I said, when the velocity's up, and it's even better.
Yeah. And then Bryce's 2 opposite field and one that just missed being a home run. Do you see both of those swings as encouraging that, look, he got it in the air a few times, he's hitting it hard?
Yeah, especially the second one off the lefty. That I think we're starting to see him starting to get the ball up in the air and not as much smother. So he looks a little bit more comfortable to play it.
hits a run out of the box.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him about it yet. I haven't seen him yet. He's in the shower, but yeah.
One thing back to Nola, how'd you like the way he worked out of that third inning after the error?
Yeah, that was good. You know, we had really a double play ball to get us out of the inning, and he just settled in and got 2 punch outs and got out of it. So, you know, that's who he is. He's pretty calm. He's poised. Just keeps competing.
With the extra run there, you just felt like I kind of let him go in the 8th, because I'm guessing maybe you might have taken him out for Franco. Might have been closer, or
If it was at 2 and Diaz got on, so Franco's the tying run,
Yep.
then I'd take him out.